The Cleveland Browns might have had the weirdest draft out of any team this year. Of course, being the team to trade down with the Jaguars so they could get Travis Hunter, taking Mason Graham at number 5, having a good rest of the draft in my opinion, but also taking SHEDEUR Sanders in the 5th round. Being the team to stop the slide, despite how much their draft room really looked like they didn't want to take him, and building a really weird quarterback room. So after all that, this is a team that definitely could have a bright future, as crazy as that is to say. So over these next few years, we are gonna see what the future could look like for this Browns team, assuming SHEDEUR Sanders does win the starting job and actually works out, which is possible. But the quarterback position is far from the only question mark with this team. This is a bad roster still. So we are gonna see if we can save this Browns team and finally get it away from being known as possibly the worst team in the league. And of course, our two big goals today are to see if we can turn this into the highest overall team in the league from only a 78, and we are gonna see if we can win this Browns team a Super Bowl by the end of this. So this is gonna be a hard one. So be sure to get a drink, get a snack, get whatever. And I'm gonna keep this intro as short as I can. Just be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy. It sounds weird, but it really does help out the channel more than you could imagine. And let's see, if this video can hit, let's shoot high. If this video can hit 3,000 likes, it'll let me know y'all wanna see a JALEN MILROE Seahawks rebuild. Y'all know I'm a Seahawks fan, at least most of you do. So if this video can hit 3,000 likes, it'll let me know y'all wanna see that. A lot of people asked for that on the Giants rebuild I did. And also be sure to let me know any fun ideas y'all have down in the comments. I'll give you a shout out if I use your suggestion, if I do whatever challenge you tell me to. And speaking of that, I'll give a shout out to K for suggesting this. They were at least one of the many people that did, so shout out to them. And then very last thing, just be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to hit 100K soon, that would be insane. And if you like Madden rebuilds, that's all I do on the channel. But without further ado, let's finally get into this. Like I said earlier, I am just gonna start SHEDEUR Sanders right out the gate. I think it is a winnable quarterback room for him. I don't know what number he's gonna wear. Okay, 2's available, sure. But like he has to compete with Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel. There is a legitimate chance he is their starter this year as a 5th round rookie. And I guess I'll give a quick, opinion on the Browns draft. I liked most of their picks. I get why they doubled up on running back just to try to replace what Nick Chubb was by adding 2 good running backs, Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. But I am shocked they didn't add a receiver at all. They must have wanted one because they signed Deontay Johnson. I'm sure that 5th round pick was going to be a receiver until, the owners called them and told them to pick SHEDEUR Sanders or they're fired. But yeah, for a team that had as many holes as they did, offensive line too, it was weird they doubled up at 2 positions, being running back and quarterback. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Also, I don't love the Schwessinger pick, however you say his name, I don't know. But everything else I thought was fine. But all right, let's finally get into this. Enough yapping. Let's get to the mid-season point of this first season, and we will see how we're doing. But okay, at the mid-season, we are 4-3. Good start. I kind of doubt that's gonna hold, but good start. This is what happened in the Giants rebuild. We started off strong, struggled, and then had to become good again. I feel like that's what's gonna happen here. Especially because, should I show it now? This team has to re-sign like every starting player. I went through and checked, I wanted the contracts to be realistic because obviously Madden's a year behind until the new game comes out. So I updated all the contracts, and it's gonna be rough. David Njoku, Greg Newsome, Tevin Jenkins, I guess he's a backup, but could be a starter. Martin Emerson, Deontay Johnson, Wyatt Teller, Ronnie Hickman, Kenny Pickett, I guess might be the Browns starter, Devin Bush, Ethan Posick, Okoronkwo gets some snaps, Jordan Hicks, Shelby Harris. We might be cleaning house here, because I don't know how many of these players I want back. David Njoku, I do, but he wants a really long deal. I would go 3 years, 50.1. I'm more than fine with that. He takes it, okay. He's gonna be really old when that expires, but he still should be good, hopefully. Greg Newsome, I want back. He is slowly kinda, I don't want to say falling off, because that seems disrespectful, but he hasn't been good, or as good as he once was these last couple years. He's very, very cheap here and wants a very long deal. Classic Madden contract. Martin Emerson, we'll see. He's not interested. I'd go, 6 years, 37. He's only 23. He doesn't take it. Jenkins, I might bring back, even though that would be kind of weird because he's not a starter. Wyatt Teller, I'm probably going to let go. He's going to be 30. Got to get younger. Ronnie Hickman, I do want back. 4 years, 27. He takes it. But other than that, it might be replaceable players. A lot of older players or just players that aren't quite stars or anything. Just like decent to good players. But we'll see. If any of those guys have amazing years, we might have to bring them back. But all right, good start to the rebuild. Statistically, we're looking really good. The defense isn't amazing, but our offense is under SHEDEUR Sanders. But all right, let's get to the end of the year and we will see what happens. But okay, in year one, we, to no surprise, missed the playoffs going 8-9. It started off so great, but that did not last. We weren't bad, but honestly, this might be the worst case scenario. This might make this even harder. We needed a good draft pick this year and we didn't get it. On the bright side, we'll have 2 firsts, so we got to see how the Jags did, but we kind of needed that top 5 pick when we're dealing with this bad of a roster. But let's check out our stats. SHEDEUR Sanders, pretty good rookie year. That's a lot of interceptions, but almost 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. Again, a lot of picks. Quinshawn Judkins, 1,000 yards, 4.4 per carry. Did a lot better than I expected. Usually, rookie running backs in Madden are not great. I didn't give him a college. Oops. But Jerry Jeudy, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 840 for McMillan, 700 for Njoku. Cool, I guess. Dwan Jones and Jack Conklin weren't great, but overall, the line wasn't too terrible. But JOK, 131 tackles, TFL's 18 for Mason Graham led the team, but only 7 sacks for Myles Garrett. I don't know what it is, but whenever I have Myles Garrett in Madden, he sucks. Well, 7 sacks isn't horrible, but I've seen him get 36 sacks, I think it was, 35, like 2 or 3 times. Not that I'm saying that should happen, but a little bit of a difference between 35 and 7, so I think I'm going to change to the Bills' defensive playbook already. I'm not dealing with this. Mason Graham had a really good rookie year, though. Only 3 sacks, but 18 TFLs. That's wild. But interceptions, 5 for Ward, 4 for Delpit, 2 for Hicks and Emerson, 1 for a couple players. So I would call that a really successful first year. I feel like that's about as good as this team could have possibly done, I guess. But like if Myles Garrett actually did as well as he should have, then we would have been better. So I don't know. But Josh Allen wins MVP. What's happening? The Giants rebuild I did, he won every MVP, I'm pretty sure. Now he already is 1 for 1. He normally wins MVPs sometimes in Madden, but not 5 in a row. Also, Christian McCaffrey up there. Gotta remember to see what he did. Michael Thomas reunited with Sean Payton apparently at 2 for AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Sure. Tyler Lockett. All right. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Sure. But Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Cam Ward, it looks like. Judkins at 3. So that's a good start. I guess technically it's 7, but like there's no way to change players away from being rookies. You can do it in franchise, but that would take an eternity. So unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with some of these year 2 players being rookies still, but that's fine. But let's see. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Mason Graham. So I'll give him a little bit of a ratings boost for that because he's not going to get it here. He only was 5, but was the best out of the actual rookies. Why was Jahad Campbell on the Broncos? Did the Eagles cut him? Gotta love the Madden jank. Not a lot I can do about that. But yeah, very successful first year. Let's get into this first off season. This is going to be a big one. I don't know how many free agents are going to be available because again, Madden contracts get a little weird, but 2 first-round picks, we should be able to do something. All I'm going to say is this draft looks pretty good for our needs, so I'm excited. But in the Super Bowl, you know what? I always say this, but I'll give Madden franchise one thing. The Super Bowls for year 1 are always kind of realistic. The Ravens beat the Eagles 38-21. At least it's 2 good teams. But I know, whatever. Lamar Jackson playoffs, I get it, but they're a good team. I'm glad it's not like Titans, Panthers or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, and wait, I was gonna check. I want to see Christian McCaffrey's good lord. Christian McCaffrey's numbers. Oh, 1,000 yards rushing, 4.7 per carry, 16 touchdowns. Did he have like 30 receiving touchdowns, 860 yards, 12 touchdowns. He had a lot of total touchdowns, but I'm a little disappointed. I thought it would be even more insane. But anyways, for the rest of our re-signings, who do we want back? Tevin Jenkins, I would bring back, but he's just not interested. I'll go 3 years, 53. We are going to have a big hole at guard. We're going to have no guards on the roster other than like Zach Zinter, but he doesn't take player friendly. I'm not going to go very player friendly for Tevin Jenkins. Jenkins. I do think he's underrated. I think Bears fans really hate him. I don't really know why. Like, he gets hurt a lot, but he's good when he plays, at least I think. I don't know. But Martin Emerson, 7 years, 57 mil. That's an interesting deal, but he takes it. Dude's gonna be like the 130th highest paid corner by the time that deal's up. But Wyatt Teller, he's 30 now. I'm gonna let him go. Same with Deontay Johnson. He's close to 30. Kenny Pickett as a backup, I'm good. I'm fine with Sanders and Gabriel being our quarterback duo of the future. Those were two of my, like, not sleeper QBs, obviously, but like guys I was a little higher on than other people. I was like pretty fine with the idea of SHEDEUR being a first round QB. Some people hated that. Obviously it didn't happen, but I would have been fine if it happened. I would have liked it. Not in the top 5, obviously, but like 10 and later. Anyways, Devin Bush. We do have Schlesinger. I'm gonna commit to Schlesinger. We'll say that. If Devin Bush was interested, he was like pretty good for the Browns last year. I would go 4 years, 33. He doesn't take it. That's fine. We'll start Schlesinger. I don't know. Schlesinger was weird. Sometimes he made like amazing splash plays. Other times it looked like he had never played football before. Just a really interesting linebacker. And he's not like a crazy athlete. I was really surprised with the amount of hype he had. Maybe he ends up being good. We'll see if he's good here, but I can't say I love that pick. But Jordan Hicks, I also think I'm going to let go. We're going to get a lot younger. We're going to have a horrible roster, but a much younger roster. So let's let all these guys go, and let's fully embrace the rebuild, because we probably need to. Surprisingly, we don't go down that much in overall, though. We're still in 80. Oh, we still have Batonio. Should we? No, I forgot to edit his contract, apparently, so I'm gonna let him go too. But all right, let's see if there are any good free agents or if it's just Browns players. Okay, it's not great. I mean, not a lot I can do about this. It's just a lot of really old players. Also, Digizua's here. I don't think he should be, but that's something. Just not really a lot we want, which I think is fine. I would probably rather just build this team through the draft and worry about free agency when there are better players. Why is Tevin Jenkins interested now? What? I mean, he's gonna get signed apparently. He has 7 offers, but okay. But yeah, I'm not gonna sign really anybody. I might sign a receiver just for depth. John Mechie, sure. And I'll sign like a Band-Aid guard just in case we need to start someone. Tristan Colon, sure. Just so we're doing something. Huge free agent class. Let's see if they sign. They do. Okay, cool. But let's get to the draft, the good part of this offseason. This should be a fun one. But all right, in the draft, for whatever reason, Madden really hates the Texans. They have the #1 pick here. They always have a top 5 pick. I don't know why. I guess that's what they get for trading away Laramie Tunsil. God is punishing them. I don't know. But we pick at number 14 and 16, right in the middle. Not amazing picks, but not bad picks. I just wish we were a little worse. I wish we had... I'm fine with the Jags being decent, but I'm really surprised we were about as good. There is one really good receiver, Alex Duarte. There was like a tight end with that name, probably like 8 years ago or something. I don't know why I remember him. It was like Thomas Duarte or whatever. But I don't know if we can trade up for him. He's supposed to go at number 3. I don't know if that's worth it, because there's also David Barrett, who's a first-round talent, and then Jamal Banks, who's a first-round talent. Ooh, a physical first-round talent. Ooh, I like that. This might just be me. I'm not sure about this, but it feels like physical receivers have the best chance to have hidden dev out of any archetype. So we'll see. There's also undrafted Seth Palmer, Alex Stevens, so I don't think we need to trade up. With our other first, though, there really isn't a great pass rusher I see. Maybe we should trade up for a pass rusher. Jeff Rose looks pretty good. He's supposed to go at 2, though. And then I looked at all the outside linebackers. Moran looks pretty good, but he's supposed to be the first overall pick. If he doesn't go at number 1, though, we might trade up, because it would be nice to pair someone with Myles Garrett and just build a disgusting defensive line. We also need to think about O-line, though. That's the problem. Maybe we can't. Maybe we have too many needs. We'll see. If one of those edge rushers starts slipping, though, I might trade up. Moran goes number 1. Rose goes number 2. Okay. If one of them lasted to 3, I would have maybe thought about it, but I don't think we can. There goes Duarte or Duarte. I don't know. We could go like Glenn Alexander, but it is hard to get a good pass rusher past the first round in Madden. It's hard to do in real life, but it's even harder in Madden. Let's just get to our first pick. What should we do here? It really didn't fall that favorably for us, though. I will say, I do like Russ Richards. I wish I had him scouted. There is also Devontae Hancock. He looks pretty good. Craig Taylor looks pretty good. Not as good, though. Nick Cannon. All right. How strong is Hancock? 39 reps, 42 at his pro day. All right. We might have to pick him. How about the centers? Normally they're not as good as the guards, but oh, I don't know. Hoffman looks pretty good. All right, well, I don't think I'm gonna be doing what I expected at all. I think we might go with 2 guards with our first 2 round picks, or 2 first round picks. It's not ideal, but I really thought this draft was gonna fall better for us. Oh, Antonio Brinkley looks pretty good too, I'm not gonna lie. That would be a tragedy to take a linebacker in the first round when our roster is this bad, but he looks pretty damn good. You know what? I might take him. The only thing that concerns me is he was supposed to go at 9 and he is still available. You know what? This might be a terrible mistake, but he looks pretty good. Elite speed, elite agility, sure. Ranked 3 in the class, got him at 14. Hard to complain when we do need a linebacker. That's a weird one. That is the last position I thought we would be taking here, but he's worth it. And all right, let's go with one of the guards. Do I think Richards or Hancock are better? Definitely Hancock. His worst ratings are only C's. Does have A run block power. I wish he had A pass block power. That's the only thing, but he has A impact block, A lead block, A awareness, checks all those boxes. I don't know if he's amazing, but I think he's good. Ranked 13. That's about what I hoped for. I was 100% sure we were going to go with a receiver and a pass rusher here, but middle linebacker and guard, that's a compromise for sure. But good players, well worth it. But all right, should we take Jamal Banks here or should we wait? It's kind of risky to wait, even though we could. They're good defensive ends, but they're, 3-4 defensive ends. They would be defensive tackles for us. Like Marquise Valentine, 1st to 2nd round talent. If he was an edge rusher, I would take him here, but he's not. He's 301. I'm going to trade down a little bit, then I'll take Banks. That would make me feel a little better about it. Let's trade down with the Chiefs. That always goes well. Teams trading down with the Chiefs. All right, we get a 3rd round pick. You know what? I'm actually going to do something good for the Chiefs here, I guess. I'm going to give them a little discount. I'm actually going to change that to a 3rd next year. No, wait, that's this year still. A 3rd next year. I don't want draft picks this year. I want them next year. I don't like this draft class. It's just, again, for what we need, didn't work out. I mean, it could be worse because we're still going to get a 1st round talent here at receiver, Jamal Banks, out of USC, left-handed, just like me for real. He's 6'2", 227, really good ratings. Horrible medium route, but everything else is great, other than catching traffic, which is kind of weird for a big receiver, but elite strength sounds good to me. Ranked 19, got him at 57, hidden dev, of course. I like that. He'll be an immediate starter. And then round 3, this is probably the last pick I'll show. I'm not sure what we should do here. Let's go with Evan O'Neal, pass blocker lineman with good strength. That's rare. He has F lead block, F run block. Don't love that, but I still think he's good. Ranked 18, 1st round talent just from a random poll. All right, this ended up being a good draft. Only normal dev, but I mean, he'll be an immediate starter. 1st round talent in the 3rd. Seems pretty good to me. But all right, here is how we did in the draft, and what a draft it was. Again, not the positions we wanted to go, at least in this order, but we did get pretty much every position I wanted and good players at those positions. We needed a linebacker. We got a linebacker. Antonio Brinkley, 81 overall, the 3rd best player in the class, hidden dev. Good start. He'll immediately be our number 2 linebacker. I guess that's bad for Schwessinger, but whatever. I'm not gonna take the 3rd best player in the class. But Devontae Hancock, 76 overall. He's a good player. I thought he would be a little bit higher of an overall. Well, I thought he'd be like a 77, but he's a 76, so close enough. And then Jamal Banks, 75 overall. Same with Evan O'Neal. All of these guys are gonna start. And then I, of course, picked the classic blocking tight end, Ricky Robinson. Probably has X factor for some reason. And then I picked Alex Stevens, 1st to 2nd round talent, projected undrafted receiver, 74 overall. He might even start. I mean, no, we'll probably put Tillman over him, but I mean, he's a really good 4th. And then I also picked Dawson because I did not see a single player I wanted, and he is horrible. I took him because he had A lead block and impact block, but that is all he had apparently. And then the CPU did something, another receiver. Okay, I don't know if we needed another, but sure. But yeah, very good draft. Again, I really wish we got a number 2 pass rusher, but I think Myles Garrett can carry. Oh, you know what? I don't know if it's just me, but I've been seeing more of these insane overall running backs lately. Like these 88 overalls. This is tied for the highest overall player I've ever seen. I feel like they changed something so more of these like almost 90 overall running backs show up, but I've seen 288s and like 287s in the last couple months, and I had never seen one before of either of those overalls, so something must have changed. I was pretty nonchalant about that being the tied for the highest overall player I've ever seen, though. That's insane. But yeah, Ken Moran, he was the second highest overall player, then Brinkley third. I did want Moran, but I think it was better to stick and pick. I feel like we did well. But all right, let's get into year 2, and I'm liking how the team's looking. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 2. Looking better, I think. I mean, definitely a younger team, like I've said. We're getting there. Definitely not the best offense on paper, only a 79 overall, but our defense is pretty good. I still want a better pass rusher than Isaiah McGuire. He's like, I feel like he's underrated, but he's not amazing. He'd be like a good third. I feel like we need a better second. But I mean, that's something we can probably do this offseason. We'll worry about that when we have to. For now, we're looking solid. I think if anything is gonna hurt us this year, it's gonna be this offensive line, especially left tackle I'm worried about. Honestly, Dwan Jones did better than I expected. I know 10 sacks isn't good at all, but for Madden, I thought he was going to allow like 18. So if he can repeat 10 again, I might take that. That's not even bad for Madden. I mean, it sounds bad, but it really isn't for Madden. Allowing like a Pro Bowl season worth of sacks for a defensive player, I mean. Oh yeah, and I am going to start Stevens over Tillman. I feel like people might not like that, but Stevens is a few years younger, only 1 overall lower. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're working on it. We're getting there. Definitely not a good roster yet, but we're building. I do want to see, where do we rank? Are we the lowest overall? Or I would guess we aren't, but we might be close. Okay, no, the Panthers are a 79. Are there any below an 80 other than the Panthers, or is it just them? Just the Panthers. Poor Panthers. I feel like they had a really good draft. They had one of my favorites, so I'm kind of surprised, but I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the mid-season point of year 2. I feel like we're going to be worse than last year, but who knows? It's Madden. But okay, we are not doing much worse than last year. We're 3-3, just 1 win worse. Our defense is a lot better this year. I did switch over to the Bills defensive playbook already. Our offense is really horrible this year. We're 29th for pass game. We did finish last year really bad, but we started good, so I don't know. Also, good lord, man. The Panthers are 5-2. They're the lowest overall team. What are we doing? The Commanders are 1-5. The Cardinals are 0-6. The Bears are 0-7. All right, sure, whatever. Definitely some shenanigans to start this, but I don't know if we're gonna have too many re-signings this year. No, we don't. Okay, that's good. I mean, we don't have much money because of it, but we don't have many re-signings to worry about. Got most of them last year. So this is a quick mid-season, but I guess we're already ready to get to the end of the year, so I would be fine if we made the playoffs. I kind of still don't want to, though. I want another good draft pick, so we'll see what happens. All right, well, we're just gonna be mid every year, I guess. We are 9-8 this season. These are like, this has been worst case scenario so far. Not good enough for great draft picks, or not bad enough for great draft picks, not good enough to make the playoffs. This has been even harder than I expected, but SHEDEUR Sanders, 3,600 yards, very good year, much better than last year. 30 touchdowns, half the amount of picks he threw last year. We will take that. Judkins was a little worse than last year, though. 1,000 yards, 3.9 per carry, 11 touchdowns. Not a great yard per carry average, but Banks, 3 yards away from 1,000, 7 touchdowns, 930 for Judy, 780 for Stevens. Good numbers. The blocking was pretty good. Nobody was bad other than, well, Whippler and Jones, debatably. And let's see, 113 tackles for JOK led the team, 15 TFLs for Garrett led the team, and sacks, 16 for Garrett. Much better with the Bills defensive playbook. 9.5 for Graham, really good year for him. 7.5 for McGuire. I mean, if he gets star dev, maybe we won't need an edge rusher. We'll see. But 4 picks for Brinkley. What a rookie year. Didn't play nearly as much as I hoped. Did we really only roll with 1 linebacker? I guess. That's interesting. I don't know what we did, but 2 picks for JOK, Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward, and then 1 for a few players. Did I say Nick Needham had 2 picks? I don't know, whatever. But MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. You know what? I'm fine with that. At least it wasn't Josh Allen for the 6th time in a row. But Dak at 2, Justin Fields at 3. That's something. Offensive player of the year goes to Josh Downs. He always wins it for some reason. Alex Duarte at number 5. Great. Max Crosby, defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett at 3. Nicholas Morrow at 4. Okay. Alex Duarte beats out Jamal Banks for Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's tough. Stevens at 3, Robinson at 10. Defensive Rookie of the Year? We should win this one, right? We don't. We get double cucked by one division rival in the Bengals for Defensive Rookie of the Year at least. Leonard Bush wins it for the Bengals. Brinkley at 2. This has been hard. This has been more unlucky than anything. Still hard. But gotta stay positive. We've only been through 1 year so far, so let's get into the offseason once again. Let's forget this year ever happened. Let's hope there are some good free agents. And I do want to see what kind of dev traits we got. But we had a Chiefs-Packers Super Bowl. Again, kind of realistic. 2 good teams. Chiefs win it. So far, 2 for 2 on AFC teams. That's kind of scary. Got a lot of competition, but I guess we're not really in the range to be thinking about a Super Bowl yet anyways, so whatever. But all right, dev traits. What are we going to have? Do we at least get lucky there? Okay, Banks only has star. He needed that Offensive Rookie of the Year, but he barely gets beat out. Was good, but not good enough for superstar apparently. But Robinson has superstar, Hancock has superstar. That's nice, at least. But defensively, okay, good. Brinkley has X Factor. I'm gonna assume he just had that. Yeah, he did. It's kind of brutal. You don't get any rating boosts for number 2 for Defensive Rookie of the Year, or just 2 for any big award, like Offensive Player of the Year, any of that stuff. It's kind of brutal. I feel like you should get something, but I don't think we gained any dev traits as a team at all. That's kind of wild. I don't know the last time I've had none gained. Because yeah, Graham had superstar. Obviously, Garrett had X Factor. Did Ward get superstar, or did he have it? No, he had it. That's unlucky. That's really unlucky. Did Njoku get it? Did he have it? No, he had it. Okay, I don't know. It is what it is. We're still building, but let's get into the off season. Not gonna re-sign anyone, I don't think. I mean, Nick Needham did really well for some reason, but I don't think, yeah, he doesn't come back. That's whatever. I don't think he would repeat that, but it's just a bunch of depth players. So let's get into free agency. Let's hope there are some decent players. If not, though, the draft is always there, which might be better anyways. Okay, there are a couple pretty good players. Micah Parsons. I mean, do we just build the best pass rush duo of all time? I always try to do stuff like this when we already have a great pass rusher like pair Aiden Hutchinson and Micah Parsons, or I guess in this case, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, or Max Crosby and Aiden Hutchinson, just to build something unblockable. I always try to do that, but I feel like the player we try to get always rejects us. So we'll see if we can do that here. Is this the most realistic move ever? It's debatable. I mean, it's hard to say a free agent signing is unrealistic, but we'll try to get him. That would be insane. Khalil Shakir is here too. We do need a receiver still. I feel like we should save a little money. Oh, I don't think we could get him anyways. The Raiders have a big offer, so I think that'll be our one move. If we don't get him, that would be kind of devastating, but I don't know. There just isn't a lot that would really help us other than him. We could send like Cam Jurgens, but I don't know. Again, I just like building teams through the draft for the first few years and then add free agents when there are actual good ones and when we have a chance to compete. So Micah Parsons, it's either this is the most boom or bust free agent class ever. 99 overall or nothing. Let's see if we can sign him. He signs. Does he sign with us? No. He goes to the Rams. He's going to be playing as a 3-4 defensive end because Madden doesn't know how schemes work. That's tough. Oh well, we don't have that much cap space anyways, so it is what it is. We'll have more in the future. But all right, in the draft, the Commanders have the number 1 pick and the Bears are at 2. Wait, did we have any 0-17 teams? Or no, we must not have, because the Commanders had 1 win at least at the midseason. They finished with 1 win though. All right, so apparently this past year in real life was the 1 year they're ever going to be good for the rest of time. But in the first round here, I think it seems like a pretty easy decision. Solomon Westbrook. I mean, what else really could we do here? Justin Heenan looks pretty good too. I feel like Solomon's just the safer bet. Or Solomon's his first name. What's his last name? Westbrook. But he has 2 last names, kinda. No, I guess Solomon's a first name. Whatever. Who cares? Unfortunately, this did not look like a good receiver class. We don't really need one too desperately anymore. I mean, we kinda do. But we'll draft Westbrook. Hopefully he has hidden. Rank 20, got him at 18. He has normal dev. All right, this might be a rough draft, I'm not gonna lie. I don't love how this class looks. But all right, round 2. I think I'm just gonna go with a guard. I would go with a guard and move him to center, but he's 6'2", 329. I don't know if that's gonna work at center. So maybe we'll move one of our current guards to center. That might be what we have to do. Oh, another linebacker that looks really good, Kasim Sims. I don't know why I'm looking at linebackers so much. He has poor acceleration for some reason, but good speed And that's it for running a 4.56. Like, that's good speed. That should not be poor acceleration. 4.56 and 4.52. That's wild. I've said it a million times. I hate how that works. I know 40 time and combine numbers aren't everything, but it should matter more than it does. The same argument I've made probably 100 times, but a 4.56 and a 4.52 for a linebacker seems better than good and poor, so that averages out at like decent. Like, I don't know, whatever. This corner looks pretty good. Cordell Brankley. Oh, he looks really good. Good speed, great excel, great change of direction, great agility, elite jumping. Not that we need a corner, but we might soon. I don't know. I think I'll just go with the guard though. Ricardo Gilmore out of Auburn. Ranked 14, got him at 50. Sounds good. Better than our first pick, even though our first pick wasn't bad. It was just kind of unlucky with normal dev. But round 3, we have 2 third rounders, right? Brinkley is gone, it looks like. That's tough. Let me just take like the best player I can find. Actually, we do need a receiver. Is there a really good one? There's Lamb. He has elite acceleration. Same with Saunders. Neither of them look very good. I do like Jaden Spears later though. Ooh, hold on. Elite speed, elite jumping, elite agility, elite acceleration, a deep route, a spec catch. We might have found something here. I'm not gonna take him yet. Where's he supposed to go? 180, so we could get him probably round 4 at least. Let's go with Wendell Polk at guard. First to second round talent, just add more depth there. Could always use more O-line depth. Rank 39, got him at 82, hidden dev. Oh, and we have pick 32. I guess it wasn't a great idea to get the Chiefs pick. Very good chance they could win the Super Bowl any year, but whatever. Let's take Spears. We could probably get him later, but he looks good. Another left-handed player out of Oklahoma. Let's take him. Ranked 41, good pick. Hidden dev. He might be a starter. We'll see. Oh yeah, and speaking of left-handed players, let me know in the comments if you would want me to do a rebuild of left-handed players only. I know a couple people have been asking me in the comments to do that over and over again, so let me know if you would want to see a left-handed only rebuild, because that's the level of innovation we have on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Real groundbreaking stuff here. But all right, here is how we did in the draft. It was good. It was a good draft. Like, not as good as last year, not even close, but it was still good. Like, we got the 20th best player, the 14th best player, something like that. Whatever Polk was, like 39 and 41, so that's really good. Just nobody like top 10 or anything, which it's whatever. We did good. Still gotta figure out who we're gonna play where on the offensive line. How much would Gilmore drop moving to center? If he doesn't drop too much, I'm not gonna really care. If he's a 75, I won't move him. If he's a 76, I will. He's a 75. Okay, we'll see. So yeah, we'll figure out the O-line, but we got at least 2 starters, so we'll take it. Maybe 3 with Spears. But all right, here is a look at the team heading in to year number 3. We're up to an 85 overall. We're getting pretty good now. This is the point where we should actually start being like 9 and 8, 8 and 9. We'll see if that actually happens, because this is Madden, but we do have a pretty decent team now. Mostly still looks like the Browns. I mean, really on offense, the only players that aren't Browns players are, I guess, the interior O-line and then 2 of our starting receivers in Spears and Banks. Everyone else, at least for starters, is a Browns player, so we've kept it mostly true to the Browns, especially on defense. I mean, we really only have 1 starter that isn't a current Brown. So we've really kind of just developed a lot of the pieces the Browns have and drafted decently well. Oh yeah, also, I didn't do this earlier because I wanted to show it because it's kind of important. We are going to release Deshaun Watson. This will save 38 mil. It'll be a penalty of 34 mil, but that's fine. It's worth it when it saves that much and to get him off the team. So now it is just Dylan Gabriel and SHEDEUR Sanders as our QBs. But yeah, like I said, we're steadily improving. I do want to see, though, where do we rank for overall at an 85? It's definitely not the best, but it definitely could be worse. Let's see, the Ravens are also an 85. How many, let me count how many teams are better than us. The Lions, Eagles, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Bucks, that's interesting, but that's it. Those are the only teams that are a higher overall than us, so we are tied for 6th. That's pretty good, all things considered. And that should keep going up throughout the year. This is a very young team now. But all right, I'm excited to see how we do this year. Could have a down year. I hope not. We're overdue for one. We've been overperforming the last 2 years, unfortunately. So We'll see what happens this year. Let's get to the midseason. And again, we should be good. But okay, at the midseason, we are 4-3. We'll take it. I'm thinking about changing the offensive playbook too, though. We just have not had a good offense at any point in this rebuild, have we? I don't think so. We had a good offense in the first half of the first year, but it's been bad since then. We'll see how it finishes. If it's good, I'll think about keeping it. If it's bad, I'll definitely change it. What's the issue though? Like, okay, well, sacks look like kind of a problem this year. 14 through 7 games. Not great. Ooh, Spears is our #1 receiver. I mean, I don't mind that. Oh, I really don't mind that. Superstar Dev. Ooh, should I make him the #1? Or should I just keep him where he is? I mean, he's getting the most receptions on the team. Maybe I should just leave him, but sometimes that changes in the second half of the year. I'll make him the #1. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping he would have Superstar, and he does. Ooh, also Gilmore has Superstar. I normally like to keep the dev traits for the end of the year, but I was curious about Spears. On defense, I don't know if we even had any hidden. I don't think we did. But hey, we'll take that. That's huge. But for re-signings, all right, that's what I was afraid of. Myles Garrett. Should his deal be up already? I don't think it should be. Oh, well, that's fine. It's not too much more than it actually is. I would go 4 years, 180. We'll just extend him even more for even more money. But Grant Delpit, I thought about setting safety as one of our focus positions because I knew his deal was going to be coming up. How has he not gotten Superstar yet? He has 6 picks in the last 2 years, 0 this year so far, and 0 pass deflections. That's not great, but the 2 years before that, he has 6 total picks. So, I mean, the NFL's kind of a what have you done for me lately type thing. If he's bad this year, I'm not going to re-sign him, but we'll see. Dwan Jones, he's surprised me. Okay, well, I think that's the end of that. He has 7 sacks through 7 games. All right, this is what I expected from the beginning, but 19 sacks through 2 years before that, that sounds terrible. It would be for real life, but it isn't here. So I'm not going to bring him back, but I would have if I hadn't checked, so I'm glad I checked. Everyone else is kind of just depth, so some good depth, but just depth. Ooh, Jack Conklin, too, we'll see. He's older, though. But all right, that's all we're going to do for now. Just re-sign Myles Garrett. Might bring some of those others back. We'll see, but let's get to the end of the season once again, and let's hope we can make the playoffs for the first time. If not, it's not the end of the world. We still have at least 2 more years, but we'll see. Okay, we do make the playoffs, going 10-7. We'll take it. We unfortunately lost the last 2 games of the year, at least the last 2 games. Okay, yeah, just the last 2, thankfully, but other than that, we did very well. We could have gone, 12-5, but it is what it is. We maybe deserved to go 12-5, I'm not gonna lie, but at least we made the playoffs. Let's check out our season stats. SHEDEUR Sanders kind of went back to how he was the first year. Better than that, but 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks. We don't have that many passing attempts, though, and we don't really have that many rushing attempts either. I guess it's split. I wish it more went to just Judkins, because, if he got, 300 carries, he would have had, 1,400 yards. I definitely will change the offensive playbook, even though we made the playoffs. But 1,100, almost 1,200 yards, 4.5 per carry, 9 touchdowns for Judkins. He's been way better than I expected so far. I was worried running back was going to be an issue because it usually is in Madden, but it isn't here so far. But for receiving, Judy did end up being our #1 receiver. Spears 930. Maybe I should have kept him as the #1, but he did end up with the most receptions. Or no, maybe I shouldn't have moved him to the #1 spot. But yeah, he did end up with the most receptions, so I don't know. Did he develop at least? Up to an 80. Definitely not offensive rookie of the year worthy type season, but good season. Dwan Jones got a little better in the second half of the year, but was still kind of bad. Hancock wasn't that good, but the rest of the line was. But JOK, 109 tackles, 15 TFLs for Graham led the team, and sacks, 12.5 for Garrett. He's been kind of disappointing here. He's been good, but again, with what I've seen in Madden before, why can't I ever get that? But 8 sacks for Graham, 6.5 for Westbrook. He wasn't great, but that's fine. But 4 picks for Hickman led the team, 3 for Brinkley, 2 for JOK, and then 1 for 3 different players. But MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. That's something. No comment on that one. Cam Ward up there. That's fun. Amari Cooper wins AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Does receiver overall matter at all? I don't think it does. I think it's just scheme fit. That's it. Devin Duvernay up here. I don't know. Were there any Browns? I didn't see any. Max Crosby Defensive Player of the Year. Garrett all the way down at 9. Damn. But Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Noah Stockton for the Jets. Spears at 3. Let's see. Chris Matthews, Seahawks legend, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Broncos. Westbrook at 5. So we all are in the playoffs, of course. Our offense was not that good. I'm going to change it right now. We're firing our offensive coordinator before we get into the playoffs. We don't have the best offense on paper, but it should be better than it is. Let's go with... You know what? Let's go with division rival, the team we're about to play, the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll try their offense. I always use either theirs or the Bills, so we'll try the Bengals here. But all right, let's see what happens. Can we beat the Bengals in the wild card? We do, 35-21. Okay, we'll take it. We were the better overall team, I think, so that's fair. Oh yeah, speaking of that, up to an 87. Where does that rank? Let me see how many teams are better than us. Okay, 6 now. I guess we got passed up even more, so we're tied for 7th. The Ravens are up to an 89. They really developed, but we're still up there at least. But we are 3 overall higher than the Bills, yet they went 14-3. Of course, they're the 2nd best defense, 10th best offense, so better on both sides of the ball, but our offense should be better than it was, so we'll see what happens here. If we lose, it's not the end of the world, but we do unfortunately lose 34-28. But hey, we showed some good stuff this year. We made the playoffs. We won a playoff game finally. The first Browns playoff win since I've been alive, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, they won a playoff game in 2021. I forgot about that. But before that, 1995, so not many. But let's hope we can keep the momentum going here. Let's get into the off season and let's see what we want to do. We might have a few changes on the team this year at some pretty important positions. But we had a Bills-Giants Super Bowl. The Giants beat the Bills 20-17. Just out of curiosity, what were those teams' overalls again? Let me, not to complain the whole time, but I know what the Bills were. They were an 84. They're up to an 85 now. Giants are an 86. At least they're decent, but those aren't really the best teams in the league, not even close, but sure. But all right, for re-signings, Grant Delpit, he's slowly playing worse and worse. He is 28. I think it might be time to let him go, unfortunately. I feel like we could upgrade at safety too. It's not hard to find a good safety in Madden. Well, it's not hard to find a good overall safety, but to find one that plays well is pretty hard. Maybe we should keep him. We'll see in free agency. We have a ton of money, so we'll just see. But Dwan Jones, that's a hard pass. Before that, I would think about it, but definitely not after that year. Everyone else is just depth, so, well, I don't know. Jack Conklin has been pretty great. I would go 1 year, 18.2. He takes it. Okay, cool. That works. But all right, let's get into free agency. This should be our first actual free agent class, I think. Okay, there are good players this year, thankfully. I mean, the dream is still alive of us pairing Myles Garrett with another 99 overall. Aiden Hutchinson is here. He's not interested though, so I would have to assume he won't. Ooh, the Steelers might get him. That's not good. Do they still have TJ Watt? Or how old would he be at this point? Like 33, 34? Only 32. Okay, well, that's scary if they do get him. I don't know why they want him, to be fair. Again, they're going to play him at 3-4 defensive end. That's fun. But Brian Branch is here. Looks like he does pretty well. Somehow doesn't have superstar dev, but we do get a lead for him. They also lost Kirby Joseph in the same year, apparently. That's tough. But what else should we look for? I mean, Jaden Reed, maybe? That might be a good idea. I rarely ever get him in franchise. We still need like a true 90+ overall amazing receiver, but Reed wouldn't hurt. Ooh, Ike Ekwonu's here. We do need a left tackle now. I should think about that, but I don't think Ike Ekwonu does well in Madden. No, about the same as Dwan Jones. We do have backup linemen though, so that we'll just draft one probably. But these two players, Brian Branch, Jaden Reed, we might not get Jaden Reed, but we should get Brian Branch. We'll see. We do get both. Okay, cool. And I mean, we still have 72 mil. I just don't know what to do with this money. We don't really need anybody here that desperately. So we'll just hold on to it until we need it, because there aren't that many upgrades here. Ooh, speaking of upgrades, Jaden Reed comes with an upgrade point. We'll take that. That's pretty huge, actually. So we kind of got him for a slight discount if he's an 87. You know what? Maybe he could be our number one. Should be like a 90-ish by the end of the year. He's playing up to a 90 with morale, so pretty good. But all right, this year in the draft, not as good of a pick. We only pick at 25. We really haven't had a top 10 pick in this rebuild, which is kind of crazy, but again, welcome to Madden. Things don't always make sense. This might be a really good draft class though, specifically because, I mean, look at Ed Hodges. This isn't even a top 5 talent right here. All A or B ratings for receiving ratings at least. Oh, okay, maybe. He only ran a 4.51, solid speed, but elite change direction and acceleration. I don't know. This might be an 80+. We'll see. I don't think we're gonna get him, unfortunately. We would have to trade up pretty far, and we don't really need a receiver anymore, but like, he would start, so I would take him if he fell to us. Oh, this was a good focus scout. Jalen Hodges. I focus scouted him and then the 2 receivers, obviously. We don't really have that many desperate needs anymore. That's the thing. So it's hard to know who to take, what position, but we'll figure something out. Let's see. I might just go with Quincy Hills out of Ohio State. More D-line depth wouldn't hurt. He could have hidden Dev. I don't know if he would. It's not going to be a great pick here because he's a first to second round talent, but obviously the good receivers went. These guys still look good. I just don't know if they're worth taking. We have enough receivers at this point. Oh, this running back looks good. Not that we need one, obviously, but he looks really good. Wait, could this be like an 88 overall? Okay, probably not with that speed, but good. Ooh, hold on. Forget the depth D lineman. Let's get a maybe starting safety, Bo Hartwell. Unless his speed is horrible. It isn't. Might have found something here. Glad I looked. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty easy decision. Bo Hartwell out of Iowa. Another left-handed player. Ranked number 3. Okay, I thought he could be number 1, but we get the 3rd best player again. Hidden Dev. We'll take it. Glad I looked at safeties. Not that we need one, but I mean, again, I'm gonna take the 3rd best player if he's available. But all right, the D lineman obviously did go. That's fine. We didn't really need one. But all right, I think this is gonna be a very quick draft. Let's go with Jalen Hodges. Might move him to tackle. He is at least 6'5". He's 43 bench reps as an agile lineman. That's something doesn't add up there, but we'll take him. Ranked 22, got him at 57. I'm honestly surprised he's not even better with that strength, but we'll take it. That's a hell of a name. Torian Clements? Sure, he looks like a good linebacker. Probably a 75 overall. The run stopper linebackers that have B awareness, A play rec are always like a 75 overall, and it looks like that's what he is. I didn't even check if he had hidden or not. Normally they don't, but maybe he did. I don't know. But all right, here's how we did in the draft. Bo Hartwell, another 81 overall. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna be an even higher overall, but I mean, an 81 is good. I'm not gonna complain too much about that. I do want to see what overall that receiver was that I was thinking about. That wasn't even a top 5 talent. We'll see. But Jalen Hodges and Torian Clements are both 76s. I guess Clements is slightly even better than I expected. And he also has hidden Dev, so he's gonna get a good amount of playing time for us. So 2 good picks there. I don't know if Hodges is gonna play, but maybe? I don't know. But the rest of the draft, I think I took Bowden, if I remember. He's not all that good. Did he have hidden? Oh, he did. I don't know if I even checked after I took him. I just assumed he would have normal. But he is one of these undersized pass rushers with horrible block shedding. And then the CPU did about its usual thing, which is nothing. Cool. Don't think those guys are even gonna make the team. But how good was the receiver? It wasn't Riddick. It wasn't Shivers. Wait, who was it? Was it Hodges? I kind of forgot which one it was. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it was Hodges. I'm recording this the next day, so I can't remember, but he's only a 78. I guess the speed really did hold him back. Plus, a lot of his A's and B's look like they weren't that good of A's and B's. I feel lied to. This dude looked so much better than he actually is. But pretty good, I mean, really good draft class. 7 80 pluses. There was another 81 overall safety, Shaq Hurd, in the 2nd round. Whoa, the 49ers. 2 81 overall safeties in the first 2 rounds. Glad we're not in their division. That's wild. But yeah, good draft class overall. Good draft for us, so we'll take it. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 4. We're looking good. We were in 88 a few minutes ago. I don't know what I did, but now we're only in 87, so that's tough, but close enough. Still looking really good. Didn't make too many changes to the team this offseason, but did, of course, add Jaden Reed. We'll see how he does. We have a lot of deep threats on the team now, so hopefully one of them really produces. Looks like he's really been producing for the Packers, though. 1,300 yards and 20 touchdowns last year, so hopefully he can do something like that. Oh yeah, and also we are gonna see how Wendell Polk does at left tackle. I'm a little worried about that. I don't know how that's gonna go, but there isn't really much I could do about that. I mean, we could try Hodges, but I don't know. We could try Hodges. Should we? He drops down to a 74, but he could have superstar Dev. We'll see how Polk does. If he sucks in the first half of the year, we'll try Hodges for the second or the last 10 games or whatever. But the defense is about the same as it was last year, just, well, different safeties, Brian Branch and Bo Hartwell. We'll see how these two do. I feel bad replacing replacing Ronnie Hickman because he was really good last year, but I don't know what to do with him now. He was really good last year. I don't know, we could play him at like slot corner or something. I might, just as a way to get our best players on the field. But other than that, our defense is pretty much the same. So we should be very good this year. I should point out that it is the cursed year in Madden 2027. So I'm a little bit worried we might underperform, but there's not a lot I can do about that. But just out of curiosity, gotta check once again, where do we rank for overall? Okay, there are only 2 higher overall teams than us, the Ravens and the Chiefs. So we're tied for 3rd with quite a few teams as an 87 overall. So at least in terms of roster talent, we are one of the best teams in the league. But the bigger question is, will we actually play like it? Only one way to find out. Let's get to the midseason point and we will see what happens. Okay, thankfully we are not suffering from a year 4 curse or 2027 curse. We are 6-1 at the midseason. Back up to an 88. We even went down to an 86 in week 1 for some reason. I guess I released the wrong depth players. I don't know, but we're 7th for offense, 3rd for defense. Looks like our new playbooks are doing very well. Only 1 loss on the year. I'm curious who that's to. It's going to be like a 1-6 team probably. It is the Dolphins. How are they doing? They're 2-4. Yep, good call. All right. But let me check out the stats. Let me make sure everything's going right, especially the blocking. It could be better, but SHEDEUR Sanders, 78 completion percentage so far. Judkins is doing well. Judy's our #1 receiver. Okay. But let's see. The blocking isn't great. Polk is doing fine. It's mostly Hancock and Conklin. Should I try Hodges at right tackle? Just because Conklin's older? That might be risky, but I mean, we're 6-1. We're pretty safe so far. Famous last words, I guess, but I'll try Hodges at right tackle just to try to get some early development for him because it's not going great at right tackle anyway, so whatever. But other than that, I think we're just going to leave the team. We have a lot of re-signings, though, it looks like. 22. To be fair, I did sign a lot of free agents to fill out the depth, but there might be some starters in here. There are. Okay. Mason Graham. Unfortunately, we don't get the 5th-year option in this world, but I mean, it's fine to just extend him anyways. I'll go 4 years, 129. He's been really good so far. Has X Factor, which I didn't even mention, but it's there. He does re-sign. JOK, I'll go 4 years, 115. That is not cheap, but that's a lot of signing bonus. But he does take it. Denzel Ward, I would be fine with a 1 year. Maybe this is why we're doing well. Everyone's in a contract year, but I'll go 1 year, 20.6. He takes it. Jerry Jeudy, we'll see. He's been our #1 receiver so far, but that's just more of a scheme thing. Mike Hall Jr. isn't interested. Carson Schwessinger, kind of replaced. David Njoku is 31. We'll see about the rest of these guys. Jack Conklin, probably not. But we still have 67 mil, and we still haven't signed any free agents. So I kind of want to let those guys go just so we can sign free agents and not be boring for the whole rebuild. But that's all there is for us to do here. So let's get to the end of the season, and we will see how we end up doing. But all right, here we are at the end of year number 4. And if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the video if you've been enjoying. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because if you like this, you'll like all the rest of my videos probably. And you know, you can say you were one of the first 100,000 subscribers. You subscribed before 100K if you care about that. I don't know. But y'all know the drill. Question of the day. Very interesting one today. Very broad question, I guess. But let me know down in the comments, who do you think had the best draft this year? Let me know that down in the comments. I would personally say either the hot take, but I think the Panthers getting Ted McMillan, Nick Scorton, Princely Umanmielen, like that alone, with how big of needs those were and how good those players are, that's kind of ridiculous. I like that one, and then same division, I like the Buccaneers. I like the Ibuka pick. I've seen people not love it because it's, you know, they already have receivers. But I mean, Evans and Godwin are older, and they were looking great until both of them got hurt last year. So I feel like that has something to do with why they picked Ibuka. Then, of course, David Walker, and lots of teams had great drafts, but I think those two are my favorites. I don't know. There were more teams than usual whose drafts I liked. But let me know what your favorite was down in the comments. But anyways, we are up to a 90 overall at the end of the season. 89 offense, 92 defense. And in year 4, we ended up going 14-3, and we got a first round bye. We beat the Cardinals 63-23 in week 17. Is that the most points the Browns have ever put up in a game? It is, by 1 point. They scored 62 twice in the 50s. Gotta love 8-9 teams in the playoffs in Madden, the 8-9 Seahawks. All right, but SHEDEUR Sanders, I don't know where this came from, but 4,600 yards, 51 touchdown passes, 8 picks, 78 completion percentage. That might be the most ridiculous thing I've seen in Madden. That's up there. I don't think SHEDEUR will be this good. I think he was very overhated to begin with, but I don't think he's gonna be this good. Shocker, I know. Something no quarterback has ever done before. Crazy take, surely. But Quinshawn Judkins, 1,100 yards, 4.9 per carry, 13 touchdowns. Very good season. Still need to change his college, but I'm too lazy to at this point. But 1,300 yards and 21 touchdowns for Jaden Reed. Pretty much exactly what I hoped for. Got one more yard and one more touchdown. Cool. But Jerry Jeudy, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, and possibly his final year here. Almost 900 for Spears, 700 for Njoku. But blocking, Polk wasn't too bad. Did about as well as DeJuan Jones. Hancock was pretty terrible, though. But Hodges at right tackle was great. Gilmore was great. O'Neal was great. Just the left side of our line gave us issues. But JOK, 128 tackles, 15 TFLs for Westbrook led the team, but sacks, 31 for Myles Garrett. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. What do you mean 31? Breaks the sack record by almost 10. I'm sure the sack record has been beaten probably 10 times over here because Madden doesn't know what the word realism means. That's something. And I mean, he's like 32 at this point, probably 31. Like, that's wild. 10.5 sacks for Mason Graham, 5 for Mike Hall Jr., 2.5 for Solomon Westbrook. This dude sucks. I was thinking about starting, what's his name? Bowden, because he had hidden dev. I probably should have. Ooh, he developed a little bit. Maybe I should have. I probably only has star, but I still wish I did. I'll start him for the playoffs, because Westbrook was terrible. I mean, he was good against the run, but that's it. But interceptions. Glad I started Hickman again. 4 picks, 8 pass deflections. Where did that come from? He's been a monster these last 2 years. Should get superstar dev. 8 picks in the last 2 seasons, but 3 for Newsome, 2 for JOK, Brian Branch, Bo Hartwell, and then 1 for a couple players. So very, very successful season. And SHEDEUR Sanders obviously wins MVP. That's insane. Didn't think we would get to this point in this rebuild, but here we are. Jaden Reed, Offensive Player of the Year. Sanders at 7. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Myles Garrett, obviously. I would sure hope so. But let's see. Offensive Rookie of the Year, would we have anyone up here? I don't think we would. We had like Hodges and that's it. So no. Yeah, nobody up here. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, let's see. Hartwell at 4. Okay, whatever. So what a season. I mean, not to call it early, but if we win the Super Bowl here, we'll have to make this the final season. We won't even do a year 5, but that's a lot to ask of Madden, especially when you're getting a first round bye. But speaking of that, let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. It is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs at a 92 overall. Just out of curiosity, are we the second highest overall team now, or are we still tied for 3rd? Looks like we are 2nd. Yeah, the Chiefs are the only other 90 plus. There are no other 90s. So damn, the Panthers and Patriots still only 84s. That's wild, but we're right there with the Chiefs, only 2 overall behind them. We had the better record somehow. They had a good offense, but bad defense. But all right, can we get a playoff win here? I think only our 2nd of the rebuild. Let's see if we can beat the Chiefs. We do, 20-17, and just like that, we are in the conference championship. We went down in overall for some reason. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but only an 89 now, but the Bills are only an 85. We are 4 overall better than them. We had the better offense. We had the better defense. Their defensive playbook worked well for us, but not so much for them this year, probably because our defense is 5 overall better. But can we move on to the Super Bowl, the Browns' first ever Super Bowl, or will we need to go to a year 5? Let's find out. We absolutely flatten the Bills 28-7, and just like that, this game, man, we are going to be taking on the 8-9 Seattle Seahawks. We are facing a team in the Super Bowl that had a losing record. What do you mean? Why? What are they looking like? Who's their QB? Is JALEN MILROE their starter? Probably not. It's Ryan Matthews, the former running back that played for like the Eagles and Chargers and Saints or something. I don't remember, but they do still have JALEN MILROE. They still have Kenneth Walker in this world. I don't get how they're such a low overall. Oh, they still have Cooper Kupp starting. Yeah, that's probably not great at a 77 overall. Okay, that's probably one of the issues. Ooh, in classic Seahawks fashion, they still have not addressed the offensive line. They've Luke Wattenberg and Daniel Falele starting. Abe Lucas not doing great. Okay, I think I understand. I think I get it. But this very well could be the last game of the rebuild. If we win, this will be it. If we lose, we'll do one more year, just so we don't end on a sad note. But we'll watch this simulate. Let's jump in and let's see if we can get the Browns their first ever Super Bowl win. But all right, here we go. In Super Bowl 64, 64, 63. I don't know what this would be. Probably 63. Not every day you see a losing team in the Super Bowl, but here we are. Let's jump to the end of the game and we will see what happens. No score so far. The Seahawks do score first, but we tie them at 7. They score and get another touchdown. They're now up 17-7. Our offense needs to put up points quick. We do get a touchdown. We're driving once again. We do take the lead 21-17. We're driving once again. We are now up 28-17 with a comfortable lead, and that is gonna do it. What a final season. 14-3, first round bye, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and now Super Bowl champions. The last team you would think I'm talking about is the Cleveland Browns, but they get it done for their first ever Super Bowl win. You love to see it.